Heretics! Heretics all over the shop, and they must be purged. I have a lot to say. A hell of a lot to say. It's so rare that a DLC of a game doesn't just enhance a little bit. It does, like, oh, more story. You guys like the story. Gameplay kind of stays the same, so they enhance the story. Gameplay was a little weak, so we're going to enhance that little bit. I finished the base game of Dawn of War. It was great. I had a ton of fun with it. It was really cool. But I did mention in the first video is that the story, like, diverts off to 3 separate paths. And really a lot of it, for me, was more of an excuse to get into gameplay. There's a massive tyrannid hive monster. You must defend the thing. And it's basically like, oh, it's a defend mission or it's a go and kill the boss mission. You know what I'm saying. And the overall story was okay. You know, there's something happening. Oh no, the tyrannid hive is here. That's pretty bad, but it wasn't excessive. So I finished Dawn of War and I was like, that was cool. People were like, you have to play Chaos Rising's DLC. And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm into my FF14 right now. I want to play I want to do some more jobs over there. Got the MSQ coming up. There's a lot of Evercold hype. I'm kind of thinking that. But we're like, no. Trust. So I was like, all right, we'll jump into it. Let's see where it goes. Oh my God. It's so good. It's so much better in every single aspect of the game. Like, it's an old school. Oh, I miss it. I know it's the old man ranting on, but God, I miss it. I miss the old school, certainly the early 2000s, when it just felt like everything wasn't a cash grab. It's like, here's a DLC, you buy it, you've got it. It's not trying to just sell you skins and keep you on the monthly average user list. It's just a good God effort game that is based on seemingly the feedback that came from the first game. I know that sounds like very obvious to you guys, right? But that's just not how things work anymore. They're making the DLC before they finish the base game. Or they're taking stuff out of the base game and sticking it into the DLC. That is such a norm at the moment and has been for a long time. I don't even really foresee it changing until some sort of video game crash when people have to go back to more old school, robust, customer first thinking. It was so great to see because they clearly were like, okay, we're making something on Chaos. That's cool. And I believe there's an Orc one as well. But you can just see that they responded to the first game. The story was a little weak. I wouldn't be the only person to spot that. The DLC story is just so much better. It's so much better. Not only do you get just a generally more robust story of what's going on, it ties back more to the first game with returning Chaos, like lieutenants and officers returning. But now you get all this optional extra dialogue. There's way more. I mean, I'm sure of it. There's probably 3x more voice acting in the DLC than there is in the base game. Because people are like, I don't know, I want that stuff. I like 40k for the lore. I want the lore and the story. I want to play in that universe. So now it'll give you like a really good, solid overview of what's going on. And cool stuff will be happening. Like a Space Hulk is about to arrive in this system. We've got history of this, the Carrion of Justice or whatever it's called. We found this data that tells us that that it's going to emerge from the warp soon, and it's been buried there for decades or hundreds of years, and it's coming back soon. So you've got these monumental moments of Space Hulks returning. So you get that as like the general overview. Then what you do is you have optional dialogue options, and they'll just be icons on your screen of people who just want to flesh out the story a bit more, or what their history was with this place you're going. They even... so that's one thing. The story is just so much better. Each mission feels tangible and deep and worthwhile. You're accomplishing something that you're interested in. Every mission seems to have been thought out that way. And it feels like there's personal vendettas with some of the agents. They're testing you. They're trying to lure you into traps. Different perspectives of what's going on from each of your crew. You know, Avitus is like, why are we helping these people? These are worthless scum. And then you've got Thaddeus who's like, because there are worthless scum and we need to fight for them. All this was great. Then they addressed the fact that more than likely what happened to me happened to a bunch of people, is that because of the story being optional in the base game, so you ended up doing a ton of stuff, I mentioned I didn't get the Dreadnought until like 2 missions before the end. So what did they do this time? They created missions where the NPCs, your teammates, which extend way beyond the 4 that you take with you, it's like 8 now, have a reason to go on these missions, and they'll request. They'll be like, hey, this, I fought here, or I have friends on this planet, or whatever. There'll be some reason. The librarian, Jonah, will be like, there's heresy and chaos afoot in here. You need me alongside. Basically, it's just saying, like, you need to take this person on this mission. And then they give you a punishment that goes with it in the new corruption system. Because you're dealing with chaos, and chaos infects everything, there is new items that carry chaos corruption on them. And also, if you don't do certain tasks on your missions, your team will become corrupt because you're failing. You might accomplish the overall goal, but you didn't do it in the right way. And that will corrupt their minds. A really great example of this was a recent mission where we're dealing with a traitor. I'm not trying to spoil the mission too much, because hopefully if you've never played these, you should. I don't want to spoil too much. But that you're fighting against actual space marines of the Blood Ravens of your chapter, right? But they've been misled. And so the mission there is, don't kill any of these Blood Ravens, because they're working under false pretenses. And you can kill them, obviously, but if you do, you're going to be twisted towards chaos. You're going to become corrupt. So then it changed the whole dynamic of the mission. So you can roll with your usual team, and you can clown stomp everybody if you want to. The alternative is that you take a more stealthy approach. It gives you a good excuse to bring Cyrus in, the infiltrator, to start working through the mission, and to give you a totally new lease on life on how this map can be played out, and makes it really, really fun as the story plays out. Like, I adored this. Like, memeing on, like, not liking Cyrus aside, like, if you're going to create hero units that have very different traits, you know, Avitus, the heavy minigunner, compared to Cyrus, the long-range stealth infiltrator, the map can dictate reasons. As long as you don't do it too much, because you want to play with your preferred team. This is great, because I was like, oh, okay, we're doing a Cyrus mission, where I cancelled the mission. I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. Let's drop back. Let's rearrange, retool, regear the units. And now we can go in and do a different approach to it. That's what you want. That's an investment in the gameplay. That's not just mindless map after map after map. 10 out of 10. Oh, let's talk about the new characters. So we get Jonah is the big one that joins, who is a psyker. So he's a magic. What a monster this character is. I love him to death. It's interesting, in the first mission, I thought he sucked when I got him, because he has a number of magical spells that he can cast off. And I was like, this guy kind of sucks, man. Like, compared to my usual team, I was like, this guy kind of sucks. I don't know. And then I thought about how I wanted to use him. I built him as a pure mage, essentially. And it was really interesting for the people who've played this in the past, either when they were younger or whatever, and they were like, oh my god, I built Jonah completely wrong, because they went with more of a melee style. You can choose either. You can either be a melee guy, or you can be this like ranged caster guy. You know, you've got to allocate your talent points into one way or the other. I went full caster with him, and it popped. It popped to the point where I have him in no armor, essentially, because the way he works is the certain cloaks he's wearing grant him modifications to his spells. And when I picked up the ability for him to auto-cast various abilities and then modified them, I have one called Ignite Soul, and then I got a piece of armor that makes Ignite Soul also do a huge AoE, which knockbacks and stuns all the units. Then I got the trait so he can auto-cast Ignite Soul on his own without me having to manually select him and then click it. And I could still do that, so he could do 2 back-to-back if I want to. It doesn't put his spells on cooldown. He became just an absolute monster of death, to the point that I didn't have in the first game, where I'm thinking, watch this, because you see a huge, like, troop, an entire unit of Chaos Soldiers coming in, and they're all kind of bunched up, like, oh, Jonah's gonna blow them up! Jonah's gonna blow them up! Boom! You see them all fly to the death. And then they enhanced everybody else. Like, Tarkus now has the ability to throw 3. Every time I use his frag grenades, he now throws 3. And this was a great upgrade, not only because getting your guys into buildings made them much tougher in the DLC, but then you can counter that with the triple frags, which will take them down. But the amount of vehicle units, all kinds of stuff that's going on there, was great. And the best addition, that how this all synergized together, was my main guy, Clownicus. I got an ability where every time he kills something, his max HP increases. He starts at about 800, something like that. And by mid to late game map, he's at like 2000 HP. He's an unstoppable killing machine. He is you cannot kill him. So what I have him now is like warping. He teleports into the group and they all charge him. And then I just have everybody else throw grenades on top of him. And he's just like raining down fire and hellstone and brimstone all around him. There's artillery landing and he just tanks it all while just shredding people. And like, this feels like Warhammer. That's the ultimate thing. This feels like the scenes and the stories you hear from 40k of just hell raining down across the battlefield. Blood, guts, and destruction everywhere. And that's what it feels like. Because you'll see, like, Jonah is chain lightning in through all the enemies. And Clownicus is in the middle in this massive armor. And he's just slashing away with his sword as grenade and hellfire and fragmentation stuff goes off everywhere. And I had so many scenes in-game of just boom, blood and limbs, because they've really well animated the gore in the game to make it go well. So it made my 4th spot in the team a little tricky. I still didn't fancy the Dreadnought. Damien Thor's a little slow, like lumbers around and stuff like that, so I'm not too into that. So I've got Avitus with me. He provides this like massive, just heavy gun support. He's also buffing the rest of the units when he's in position, and he just shreds through like everybody who's missed out on the AoE and stuff. So he's just like clobbering everybody. Ultimately, the gameplay just massively better. Massively better. And on top of that, you then start getting corrupted items. Really powerful items, but they carry corruption. And the way they work is if you put a corrupted gun or whatever on one of your units, if you use that unit during a mission while they're equipped with that, they're going to get more corrupt. Now, interestingly enough, I probably should talk about this in the next video, but I will say this for those who know, as I ended up with 0 corruption. I guess some of the traits that you pick up are very strong, because what you have is a progress bar of how corrupt you are. The more powerful you get, but with a downside to go with it. And I was like, I really like my units working well. So, and I had decent enough items. I will say my only criticism of Dawn of War 2 as a whole is the itemization. I think a vast improvement to this system would be some way of, what you can do with excess items is donate them for experience. I would really like a Destiny-style system where you could donate them to increase the item level of certain items you have. Because I think loot is relatively random. And what you end up with is just either one, not finding a weapon that is suitable for one of your units for a long time. Even past level cap. Like, most of my units are level capped, which is level 30. And some of them are using weapons which are, you know, maybe 10 levels behind where they should be, but nothing's dropped. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because you get a lot of the base items and you just sacrifice them. They have no traits on them and things like that. So that'd be one criticism I have. I'm looking forward to the end of this because there's been a major story revelation recently. I'll see where I go to summarize it. And maybe now we have to do the Orc one. I don't know. But you've got to check this thing out, man. It's so fun. Like, the base game is solid enough. You'll be fine. And then the DLC, mwah, so much better. All right. So I'll see you then. Bye, guys.